Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming back to our channel. My name is Amber.
I am Enoch.
And this is the Beautifully Benoit channel. And this segment is the original Benoit. Obviously, me and Enoch. Boom. So it's been a little minute, but we are back. And I'm feeling much better. I'm feeling healthier.
Hallelujah.
Thank God for that. And so for this video, we're going to talk about the love languages, right? And what we're going to do is I am going to write on a piece of paper what I think Enoch's love language is. And then Enoch is going to do the same for me. And then we're going to take the love language test to see what our love language actually is.
Probably you write it on my phone as opposed to waste paper.
Well, I want to show the people.
I mean, it's still going to be there.
So you want to show the phone?
I'll show the phone.
Well, my phone is recording.
I mean, you can write it down. I'm trying to be sustainable.
Oh, are we? I already wrote down titles.
Okay,
Amber's love language, Enoch's love language.
Okay.
So now I've wasted paper anyway.
It's only one sheet.
It's two.
It's a lot of waste.
And then the ink. Write on this paper.
Let's go.
Okay, so we're going to do it. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Sidebar. What I wanted to say was, if you are not aware what the love languages are, let me tell you them now before we write on the paper. So, you also might hear our dog in the background.
Oh, he wanted to share what his love language was.
Hey.
Paper.
So, there are 5 love languages. The first love language is acts of service. Well, it's not in a specific order, but I'm just giving it to you. Acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, and physical touch. With acts of service, that's when you are doing things like washing the dishes, taking out the trash. And if that was Enoch's love language, then that means that he feels loved when I do those type of things. Receiving gifts, it's kind of clear. When your partner likes receiving gifts, they feel loved when you buy them things. Quality time, when we're spending time together, that makes you feel loved. Words of affirmation would be, if Enoch's love language is words of affirmation, it would be me telling him like, oh, you did great, you're awesome. All the words that would make him feel is affirmed. Yeah. Okay, great. And then physical touch, obviously. Touch doesn't necessarily have to be like sexual, but more on a stance of like holding hands, cuddling, like stuff like that. And that's the 5th one. So we're now gonna write down what we think each other's are, and then we're going to take the test. Okay, BRB. And we are back. All right.
Yes.
Haven't done that in a minute. All right. So this is what we'll do. We will give each other, or we'll say, what should we do?
Exactly. We'll just do it that way.
What?
We'll say what our guess was.
Okay.
I won't look at your computer screen that's right there.
Exactly. Okay. So my guess for Enoch's love language was...
Also, the test does break down in order from top 5.
Right.
It doesn't just give you one.
Right. So the top 2 for me, for Enoch, would be words of affirmation and acts of service.
I didn't know we were doing top 2.
We don't have to do... Okay. So
I thought it was your main one.
All right. Main one. Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. And for Amber, I made the guess that hers was also words of affirmation.
Okay. So now that we have done that, we can go to our scores.
Go from lowest to highest.
Okay.
Build it up a little.
All right, so let me get my computer. All right, you go.
Oh.
All right, I'll start. For myself,
Normally you do better at these than me, so I should probably go first since you're the big finish.
okay, go ahead.
Okay. So at 6%, it's receiving gifts. At 13%, it's acts of service. At 19%, it's quality time. At 29%, it's physical touch. And at 32%, it's words of affirmation. So you were, in fact, correct with your top two.
Okay. And so for mine, 7% receiving gifts, 13% physical touch.
That's unfortunate.
17% acts of service, 23% quality time, and 40% words of affirmation.
Shocker.
Now, let me put this away. What I will say to that is what we have learned over time is that our love languages change.
Yes.
And so I don't think that when we started dating, words of affirmation was a thing for me. I think that, what do you think would be receiving gifts was a part of that at some point, right? Or no?
I don't know. I mean, you appreciate gifts that you
But
get.
it wasn't
I don't think it was a
okay.
make or break.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I think time in the beginning of our relationship, spending
Quality
time,
time
was.
So I guess mine still are the first. Well, no, words of affirmation have changed. I'm just not. I need to be comfortable.
I think over time, needing that to hear that reassurance is what pushed that to a top one. Because before when we started dating, I don't think you needed to hear your partner say those things.
Right.
But as life happens and relationships happen, sometimes it makes you second guess yourself. So you start needing to hear that,
right,
those words from your partner. I was thinking. Yes.
Correct. But will we also, so then knowing that both of our love languages,
Top languages. Because they all are, we appreciate them all.
They all are important, but what will really show or make me feel like I'm being loved, and it's a real thing, because I feel like a lot of people throw out, 5 love languages, and people talk about it all the time, and there's a book, and there's a quiz, and all of that, but like, it actually is real,
right,
because you don't think about what the other person needs to feel loved. Right. So what we learned also early on, not even early on, kind of early on, but also still learning, is that you show love to your partner the way you want to be loved. But in this case, we both have words of affirmation, so that's different. But I'll say this. For me, I like traveling. I like going on trips. I like doing all that type of stuff. So I would do a surprise trip for Enoch, and he appreciates it by all means. So. We have a great time, but that's not his top love language.
Right.
So for him, it would be like, oh, that's cool, but you still feel like not... I don't know. I don't want to say appreciated, but like, what does it feel like to receive? Because I feel like it's on both ends. So I'm trying to think about what I would feel. Like, you just feel like, oh, this is a nice gesture.
Right.
But it doesn't feel like, wow, she really thought about this and she really cared about me. Like, it just feels like it was a nice gift.
Well, yeah, I would try not to second guess and question if you care about me or not. I think it's just what hits you is what hits you at that time in your life. So if it's physical touch, that is going to naturally, organically just make you feel loved by the person. or more loved by the person. Not to say that a word of affirmation it just won't hit as much, but you'll still know the person is showing you love. It's just not going to be as potent as your top for your first or your second one.
Yeah, but then with that, showing love and feeling love is two different things.
Agreed.
So I could be showing you love in all the wrong love languages, and you still feel like there's a disconnect, or you still feel like, you're not getting the love that you would want.
But on the reverse of that, it's if you only show my top love language attention and you don't show me any of the other four, I can also still feel like that it's like something is missing. Like if all you give me is words of affirmation, but you don't give me any quality time or gifts or whatever, and even if it's not, gifts isn't a big thing, then for your birthday, whatever, that can satisfy the gift one. And then if physical touch is also low, you don't have to be so physical so often, but it still counts. So like just saying, oh, I'm just going to give him those words of affirmation because that's what he really looks for. I personally am still going to feel like something is missing because the other four aren't getting any type of attention.
Well, I wouldn't say once you take the test and you see that your top thing is this, you focus only on that, right? Because even for mine, 40% of it was words of affirmation.
Right.
There's a whole nother 60% that's broken down into all of those boxes. And so each piece is important.
Right.
I think that just the top one has to be like overly, I don't know.
Right. I agree. It should, if you're breaking it down to who gets the most, your top one should get the most. But I'm just saying don't neglect the other four, saying I took care of this one, I should be good. And obviously you're married to the person, so it should never be, okay, I checked the box, I can go on with my life. But at the same time, you should. I took care of the first one. Look for opportunities to touch on the other ones just to make sure that the person feels a nice, well-rounded love.
Yes, well-rounded love. But I think what we found out during our counseling was like where Enoch, I guess for the words of affirmation piece, I struggle in saying certain things, but that is his top love language. And so it's like, I guess the conversation could be like, how do you navigate in making sure the person is feeling loved, but also dealing with your own, like, I guess, insecurities or difficulties or whatever you want to entitle it. But how do you navigate around that? Because you are in need of something, but that's where I struggle. So how do we come together with that?
Or meet in the middle?
Yeah, because we would have to.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that there still won't be conflict.
No, there will be conflict, but that's the struggle part about it, right? Because I have to then step out of my comfort zone or work on my insecurities and all of that. But then you have to be understanding on that end.
And to look for the little victories that come along the way.
Yeah. But I think that in turn, do you think that would eventually change your love language?
Yes. I think it does. It plays a role in changing your love language.
Yeah.
Because also you're trying to meet your partner in the middle. Mm-hmm. And you're trying to find the best way to work through these situations, because obviously we know that marriage is difficult, and you're trying to find the best way to love the person and accept them for who they are, flaws and all. And sometimes, like, you have to, not say you have to make a decision, but sometimes it happens involuntarily that you're like, you know what, I appreciate that they're doing this for me more now because I know this is them showing their love to me in this particular way. and I understand that the other part, though they're attempting, they're still working on it, they still haven't quite gotten it, and I'm okay that they're not there yet. I am appreciating what they are giving me, and then your love language just changes, and it may change back, or it may change to something else as time continues going. But the more you work on like the patience and understanding for both sides, it may change, and you won't. I mean, the goal is as long as you guys are happy together, then your love language.
But you want to be happy and making sure also that your partner feels loved, because I feel like you can get caught up in, I don't want to say looking the part, but you can get caught up in, oh, we're happy, everything's fine, not wanting to really say anything, not wanting to complain, not wanting to say certain things, and then at some point you're going to get to your wit's end, and it's going to be like, well, I've never felt loved or appreciated or whatever. And so you don't want to get to the space where it's like that. But
well, that's what I'm saying. You make a conscious effort to see the work that your partner is putting in.
Yeah.
So like they may not be so into physical touch and showing their affection that way, but when they come, if they're trying to hold your hand more often, that could be like, okay, well, I see that they're making an effort, and you celebrate that right there, and you can hope that encourages them to be more comfortable doing it. But if it doesn't off the bat, then it just doesn't off the bat. But just so when those times come where you're like, man, I really wish I had more physical touch, you can remember, okay, over the last few weeks, she has been making efforts. Yes, it's not, all I want, but it's some of what I want, and I have to decide to say, like, that's enough for me, because I'm not perfect either. And I'm sure there's areas I'm lacking into, and she's seeing what I'm doing.
Right.
And she's not holding it against me that I haven't reached it in a week or 2 weeks.
Right. Do you feel like couples should, like, how often do you think we should be taking this test? Because I don't remember the last time I took it. Like, I thought about it, but I don't remember the last time I took the love language quiz. Well, it might have been a few months ago, actually.
It's been longer for me.
Okay. Because I feel like because it fluctuates and changes, like maybe this is something where couples should do it like every 6 months.
6 months every year?
Yeah, every 6 months.
Do it on your anniversary. Just before. That way the person can gauge the gift.
Well, yes, that would make sense. But yeah, like every 6 months, so that and you're not trying to figure out, like what's going through their mind, what's going through how do you navigate in your relationship, like keeping in mind how your partner identifies what love feels like for them is like, it's a difficult task.
You don't necessarily have to do 6 months either. You can do, if you guys are arguing a lot, take the test. Because that can be like, you could be trying, she could be trying, or, you both could be trying and it's just not working. You guys are still arguing. Maybe you guys are out of focus. Maybe you guys need to take the test and be like, oh, okay, I thought you were physical touch, but now it seems like you are gift. You want a gift. Yeah. So I can change my approach, because when you guys get into that flow of arguing over everything, nothing seems to work. Sometimes you just got to recalibrate. Jesus. And just feel like, and just take it as like, oh, okay, I get it better now. And sometimes the questions are thought provoking, and they make you reassess just how you approach the relationship together. So if you arguing a lot, just take it then. Don't even wait. Don't say, oh, it's got 2 more minutes. No, take it out. Take it as often as you need to, because it is only going to help the health of your relationship.
Right, and I would say also like keeping in mind how the other person feels, because I feel like it is very hard to show someone love different from what you perceived love feels like.
Right.
So it's for me, if let's say acts of service is at the lowest of the 5, that means for me, I'm not thinking about doing stuff around the house or like, I'm not thinking of stuff like that, but I have to think about it because that's what my partner perceives as love for them.
Right.
So it's like it's both ways. I have to think about how I feel when I'm feeling love, like what love means to me, and then I have to think about what love means to my partner, and then I have to do those things to make sure you feel loved, and then make sure I'm communicating with you so that I feel loved.
Right.
Oh my gosh, it's just like
It's a lot of work.
Lord, have mercy.
It's a lot of work.
That and prayer.
And prayer.
Yes. Love language and prayer. Because, Lord. But yeah. So, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, not at the moment, no.
Okay. So, we just wanted to come on and give a little, about the love languages, do a little quiz, have the conversation, get the thoughts, in your mind. Take the quiz. I'm going to put it in the description box just because this is not a promotion of any sort. We're not getting paid for this. But it definitely is a good way to assess like what love looks like in your relationship. And so thank you guys for joining. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
That's what I'm talking about. All of the above.
All
of the above.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Amen. All right, guys. Peace up. 8 sound down. Bye.
Shame.
Bye.